There is one fundamental truth about life that we as human beings continue to forget. And what that truth is that time will pass anyway. Whether you're negative, whether you're positive, whether you're ruminating and brooding about what's not working out in your life, or whether you have a positive outlook on how you see and envision your life to be, whether you don't believe in yourself or whether you believe in yourself, time is going to pass regardless of what you do with these two different choices. Your life essentially is a choice, and you can either be delusional and have unshakable self-belief, or you can continue to be stuck living the same life, having the same limiting beliefs, the same patterns that will continue to perpetuate and exist in your reality because time will pass anyway. And I think when you start to really understand this concept, that is when you can start to change your life. Because whether you do something or whether you decide to not do it and stay stuck, that decision is going to change the outcome of what your life could look like. And when I fully realized this truth about life, when I fully realized that no one is going to come save me, when I truly realized that whatever decisions that I make in the present, that time is going to pass regardless of what I decide to do, that is when I finally started to take control of my own life. That is when I finally started to believe in myself. That is when I finally started to realize that being delusional may actually be one of the best things that I can do for myself and for my life and the way that I see my life, what belief systems I'm carrying every day, how I'm talking to myself every day. Me filming this YouTube video is an absolute gem of an example of this, because I was always way too concerned about people's opinions about me or what people are going to say. I've always had a passion to speak. I've always had a passion to chase my dreams, to be authentic, to speak what I want to speak about. And I've always had a gift in that ever since I was 3 years old. And when you're a child, you can be good at those things because all these limiting beliefs that society puts on you, the older that you become, don't have a pull or a grip on you as strong when you're younger. But the older that I started to become, the more that my belief systems about myself started to change, the more that I would catch myself, and the more that I stopped believing in myself, the more that I let this world take over what it is that I wanted to do with my own life, the more that I started to put all these limits on me. And slowly over time, I could notice that my spark, my creativity, what I wanted to do in this world constantly was getting clouded by all these notions about what other people are going to think. And essentially what started to happen is fear started to take over. The fear of people's judgments, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being seen. Whether you stay scared, whether you stay stuck, whether you stay ruminating about why you can't do a certain thing, whether you stay controlled by the shackles of what society is putting upon you, time is going to pass anyway. And that is exactly what got me in front of the camera. That whole idea of, I don't want to look back at my life and realize that I haven't done the things that in my heart I've always wanted to do because I've allowed fear or I've allowed someone else's opinion take control of my own life. You have two paths. You have the path where it's comfortable and where you don't have to change, the path of least resistance, of where you can continue to live that same life every single day, or you have the path which is you actually taking that step, you finally facing your own fears, you finally realizing that you get one shot at this life. So stop putting so much importance on the external. Stop putting so much importance of getting it wrong. Why can't you change your mindset? And why can't you think of, what if I do this thing and what if I get it right? Or what if I do this thing because I love it, and despite of what the results are going to be, I'm going to do it anyway because I don't want to waste one more second of this precious life limiting myself why would you not be the biggest advocate for your own self, for your own life? Starting itself is a blessing because most people don't even start. And the thing that stops people from even starting is this whole concept of fear. But realizing that your dreams live on the other side of fear, realizing that if you believe in yourself, if you finally start talking positively about yourself, if you finally start believing that things are possible, when you finally start building from that place and you start doing despite the discomfort, despite the opinions, despite the fear, despite the judgment, when you actually take that power back into your hands, you will thank yourself in the future because you have used that time to try. And successful people, they have allowed failure to happen more than someone that hasn't even tried. Success is taking that first step, even if you don't feel like it, even if you're scared, even if you don't feel ready. That is how success is built. It's through consistency, it's through competence. True freedom is when you conquer fear. True freedom is when you no longer let other people's opinions consume what you want to do with your own life. True freedom is when you can follow and live authentically the life you want to live despite what the world is saying about it. Take this as a sign to finally be that change you want to see, to finally take that first step, to not let the noise and the distraction and the outside world taint the inner vision that you see for your own life. Because if you want to be great, you have to be different. If you want to make an impact in this world, you have to go against what majority is doing or saying. If you want to live that life that you know you're meant to live, you have to be okay with being the black sheep. You have to be okay with not always fitting in. You have to be okay with following what you want to do versus what other people want you to do. You have to be okay with not constantly dimming your light just to be comfortable to be around. And I promise you, when you do this, and when you realize that you get one shot at this life and that time is precious, that is when you can really start to live a life that will surprise you. A life full of wealth, a life full of purpose, a life full of fulfillment, because you are finally honoring yourself and who you want to be and who you are becoming at every single moment.